Hello, everybody. My name is BC Osandika, Joy and Joy Director, and this is another episode of our Blab Baby Wearing chat. So, just like many of you know from our past Blab chats, that this is going to be very informal and very enlightening and also fun as well. So like blab is live. There's no fancy editing or anything, so this is real time. You can ask us questions if you want, and we're hoping that this is going to be 30 minutes. So towards the end of the blab, that's round about 25 minutes past 12, we can take your questions. If you want to put on screen so you can chat with us, feel free to do that. So again, my name is BC, Director of Joy and Joe Baby Carriers UK. And today I'm here with
Okay.
and this is David. So today we'll be talking about safety and baby wearing. So I'd like to welcome those of you who have joined us. I can see Amir Tawila. Hello, Amir. Thank you for joining us today. So safety, like many of us know, you know, is the ability or the freedom to be free from danger. So safety is like the freedom to be free from danger. Now, baby wearing safety is really, really paramount because when you think about the fact that in life there are all sorts of risks and accidents that we encounter day by day, and when you carry a baby, the safety of your baby should be really, really important to you. So today I'll be going through some tips, baby wearing tips that I feel are really, really important. I brought Parker and David here today so we can show you real life illustration or demonstration of how safe your baby wearing, just to kind of illustrate to you about safe baby wearing techniques. So the first thing is baby's chin must be free from their chest. So baby's chin must never press onto their chest. Now, I'm looking at our blab and I just want to be sure that the video and the audio is right. So if you can't hear us, for those who are live with us, can you just leave a note at the side and just tell us if you can't see us very clearly or if you can hear us properly? Okay. I know in the past we've had technical issues with Blab, but hopefully today our sound is a lot better. In terms of the lightning, this is daytime, so we've not got any props, any lightning or artificial, it's just natural daylight. So hopefully you can see and hear us properly. So baby's chin, so baby's chin must be free from their chest. So when you carry your baby, do not let your baby's chin press on their chest. And this is really important in the case of babies who are a lot little. Dave is around about 12 months. So we're talking about babies who are, much more smaller, like newborns, babies under 4 months. This is really, really important. Also, you also need to take note of this as well when babies are sleeping. So do not let baby's chin do not let their chin press against their chest. This is really, really vital. And also, adjust your baby's head to make sure that you can have two fingers under their chin. So if you look at what I'm just about to do now, so it's just something that obviously at the start, you start doing it because you're really conscious of it. But with time, it's something that will come to you like a second nature. I'll give you an example. Like when my daughter is sleeping and all that, due to the fact that she is quite prone to asphyxiation, although that's due to her medical condition. So it's something I always check every day. I always make sure that her head is tilted back and I never let a chain fall on her chest. So that's something that if you're very aware of asphyxiation and the dangers of letting your baby's neck fall fall on their chin. It's something that you will just check. So I'll just demonstrate that right now with Dave, so you can see what we're talking about. So you just put two fingers under your baby's chin. You should be able to fit two fingers on your baby's chin. Then, if your baby's chin has fallen on their chest, you will not be able to do that. But if your baby is optimally positioned, you should be able to fit two fingers on your chest. Also, and this is quite popular, make sure that your baby is close enough to kiss. So do you want to kiss your baby? Let's see. Good. So the reason why this is quite important is that if your baby is too low, that your baby is sagging, or if your carrier is too loose, your baby is likely to sag, and as a result of that, you might not be able to kiss your baby. So that's why you hear baby wearing experts or consultants saying, "Oh, your baby should be close enough to kiss." The importance of this is that if your baby is at a level where you're able to kiss his or her forehead, that way your baby is optimally positioned. You will be able to check on your baby regularly, and your baby won't be far enough. I mean, the whole idea of baby wearing is to be able to read your baby's cues and to be able to see your baby and observe your baby. So obviously, when you're tired, you shouldn't carry your baby because you should be very, very aware. I always see baby. You should see baby carriers as see yourself as the baby carrier, and see your carrier, that's your sling, as the accessory that is there to make your baby carrying easier. Also, make sure that baby's back is well supported. As you can see, Dave's back is well, supported. He has a very natural curve. In this sling hasn't forced his back into a natural position, like a straight position. It's not too tight, it's not too loose. When your baby is well supported, even you can feel it, because if your baby is not well supported, your baby will not be comfortable. Oftentimes as well, you won't be comfortable as well. So make sure that your baby's back is well supported. That's really, really important. Make sure that, and we talked about these when we talked about your baby being kissable. Make sure that, especially in the front carry, that your baby is carried well above your hips. So it's quite sad that these days there's some not so safe baby wearing photos that go on the internet, and you find some of them on eBay where the babies are really, really carried very low. That's not safe enough, because basically you want your baby to be in a position where you will be able to feel their breathe. You will be able to feel them breathe against your chest. So make sure that your baby is not carried lower than your hips. That is really, really important. Also, make sure that your baby's face is visible. And you notice that every single baby wearing tip actually links to each other. Because if your baby is kissable, if your baby is kissable, is at a kissable level, you should be able to see your face. So I think this point actually buttress the fact that if you're using like in a carrier, like a structured carrier where there's a hood, or if you're using a wrap and you've actually used a panel of your wrap to support your baby's head, no matter how well you want to support your baby's head, make sure that your baby's face is not completely covered. In fact, you should be able to see your baby, and your baby should be able to see you. So even if your baby is sleeping, make sure that you can see your baby. Your baby's face must be visible at all times, and this is really good. This really applies to all carriers. No matter what carrier you want to do. Obviously, when you're doing a back carry, your baby your baby will not be as visible to you compared to when you're doing a front carry. So most of the baby wearing safety tips really apply to a front carry, because usually back carries are advanced carries. So by the time you want to support his head, so by the time your baby is moving on to a back carry, they should be able to support their head At that stage, if you want to check on your baby, a lot of people use mirrors, and some people just use like a car mirror or glass, and we have baby wearing mirrors as well that we actually usually add to our customer orders, and you can easily just um, use. You can clip it. I don't actually have one right here, so you clip it and you just use that to have a look at what your baby is doing behind you. So you will notice that because babies are the front, because by the time your baby is moving on to a back carry, your baby is a lot more older most of the time, and your baby can support his or her head. So at that point, some of the tips in terms of the baby being visible and all that, you might not really be able to do that. Like you won't be able to kiss your baby's head if your baby is in the back carry. So these points really apply to front carry. And like we said, baby sleeping soundly. Baby wraps, baby sleeps are so comfortable. At the start of our chat today, Dave was awake, happily jumping around, and look at him. It's fast asleep now. So, like I was saying, you have to make sure that irrespective of the baby carrier you're using, whether it's a ring sling or it's a wrap or it's a soft structured carrier, make sure that your baby is visible. Your baby's face is visible. This is the reason why cradle carries are no longer encouraged except for in the case of breastfeeding. So in cradle carries, most of the time the baby's face is not usually very visible, and this is the reason why some of the accidents that have happened while moms are carrying, or while parents are carrying their babies, and I'm not sure if some of you have seen some of them in the press a while ago. Some of those accidents happen mainly as a result of asphyxiation, even though individual cases are different. You have to think of the fact that if your baby is carrying in something that looks like a bag, you will not be able to keep tabs on your baby. Then that close interaction that you should actually benefit from when your baby is optimally carried, you will also have that. These are things that makes babies a lot more prone to accidents when they are in a cradle position. And I'm really happy that cradle carriers are no longer encouraged. Obviously, when you want to breastfeed, you can do a cradle carry when you want to breastfeed, because at that position, it'll be easy for you to breastfeed your baby. But as soon as you finish breastfeeding, it is advisable that you return your baby back from a cradle position to an upright position. So at Joint Joe, we only encourage upright position. We do not endorse cradle carries, and except cradle carries, we only advise cradle carries for breastfeeding moms only while breastfeeding is ongoing. So, like I said, after breastfeeding, it is advisable that you return your baby back to an upright position. So, prepare your questions, and if you have any question, feel free to let us know before the end of our blab. Okay, so we're just having a look at those questions that didn't pop up. Now, it's worth mentioning that some of you, in fact, many of you are going to watch these blab on YouTube, because blab allows us to record our chats and then upload it to YouTube. So if you're watching these on a replay, feel free to send us your questions. If you have questions, we're on most social media platforms. We're on Twitter, of course, we're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, we're on Instagram. If you have questions, feel free to ask us either about this topic, safety and baby wearing, or about the previous topics that we've talked about on Blab, or about any problems you might have with your baby carrier. We'll do our best to answer you. Our email is info@joyandjoebaby.co.uk. So the last but certainly not the least point in terms of when it comes to safety and baby wearing is ensure that your baby is in a comfortable seated position. So I'm just going to move back your baby here so you can see them. Good. So when we say your baby should be in a comfortable seated position, we mean that your baby's legs should not dangle. You can just imagine um, if you want to sit down, if you want your baby to be your baby carrier optimally, you don't want their legs to be dangling down. You want their legs to be like in the front carrier and the side, forming like a M shape. So then we moved into a side carry, obviously, just to make it comfortable for mom. Okay. Um, so the end, so I'm just going to try to show you the M shape. As you can see, it's hips. So this is really important, especially for little babies who are much more prone to hip dysplasia. Make sure that your baby's bum and legs form the M shape. As you can see, this is the M. This is really, really important, and this can be achieved by ensuring that you actually imagine that your baby is sitting down. So make sure that you tuck your babies. You do um, a very nice pelvic tuck, and make sure that your baby's legs are not because when your baby's legs are also dangling as well, it won't be comfortable for your back. Um, because your baby's weight will be evenly distributed, and also this also puts pressure as well on your baby's joints. And you can imagine for little babies whose hips are developing, when you put your baby's legs in a position where their hips are not well supported, you're actually putting them in a position where they are actually much more prone to hip um, dysplasia. So this is really, really important. And just like I said, that is not the least point, but that's the last point for today. So make sure that your baby is in a nice seated position. Like in a ring sleeve, you make sure there is enough fabric down underneath baby's bum just to support baby's bum. That way, your baby will be very comfortable. Do not put your hips in a situation that can actually damage your hips. Obviously, babies that are older, like Dave, are less prone to hip dysplasia. And yeah, so those are the major. Obviously, it is a really important and interesting topic. I could go on and on and on, but we always aim for our Blab chat to be 30 minutes. We don't want to keep you on for long, and obviously we also have a lot of work to get on to. So thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you so much. Dave is sleeping, so I'll release you so you can go and transfer him to his bed. Thank you so much for joining us. Lots of sleepiness. Thank you.
Bye.
So thank you so much everyone as well for joining us today on today's Black Chat. Really enjoyed talking about baby wearing and safety. Do let us know as well if you have any suggestions. Those of you who are blab gurus, feel free to spam us with your ideas about how you think we can improve our blab. Yeah, thank you so much and have a very good day. We'll see you in 2 weeks' time with our next topic. So if you've not subscribed to our blab chat, make sure you follow us on Twitter and Blab. That way you'll be notified about our future Blab chats. Thank you very much. Bye.